Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah and I like to lift heavy things. Why do I always go in a weird accent? I don't understand. So let's talk about September. So I didn't have like great expectations walking into September just because I felt like my body had peaked in August and I felt like it definitely needed to rest and recover before I went into another hard training block trying to attempt like a lot of PRs. I just felt like my body needed time to like recuperate from everything that had happened, and my mind needed time to adjust to these new numbers that I'd just accomplished. So in order to make sure that I didn't walk away from September feeling like deflated and annoyed because I hadn't hit any new PRs, I kind of decided to focus on other things and focus my energy on changing my cues, so changing my technique, and focusing all of my training energy on trying to make sure that every lift felt as good as possible, as well as just going for like heavier squats and focusing my energy on like squats and pulls. So yeah, I know, it makes me sad too that there aren't loads of PBs, but we all need to sometimes remember that like sometimes it's not always, like you're not always gonna get PBs, and we need to find joy in all the things that come around that, because otherwise training is so hard. So hard. So let's start off with number one. So this is an 103 power clean and jerk. I did this at the end of an EMOM, so my best is 104, so we're not far off, which I'm really pleased with. I think that I was trying to make sure that my hips weren't flying back and that I was catching it a lot more solidly. The 100 I did just before that felt really nice as well. I think to be hitting these kind of weights at the end of an EMOM is just really reassuring and makes me feel like I'm really strong and capable of doing the numbers that I expect myself to do in a few months. Number two, 123 kg back squat single. So during this program, as I said, I was focusing on squats. Now the way that we did this, we decided to put 3, 2, 1s in, so like squat waves. So I started with a less heavy 3, then went to a 2, then went to a 1. I'm hitting 123 for a single after doing 118 for doubles. Was really nice and reassuring. I feel like my leg strength is definitely peaking and that I'm definitely at the strongest I've ever been. The thing that is great for me is that I feel like it kind of reassures me that once I get under that weight for a clean, like there's no doubt that I'm going to be able to stand it back up, and that's what we're working towards. That's what I really want to achieve. And also the stronger I am in my legs, the more explosive power I'll have, so the more I can snatch and the more I can jerk and the more I can clean. That's what we want, people. That's the focus. Number three is a slow snatch at 75 kilos. Now you might say, Han, that's not very slow. It's slower, okay? It's slower than my normal snatch. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna run with it. So basically, as I said, this program is about figuring out my weaknesses and trying to change my cues. Now, what we found that I do wrong, when I say we, I mean me and Ross, my coach, slash partner, slash everything. We found out that a lot of where my lifts go wrong is off the floor, like straight off the floor, the couple of inches that follow that, that's where all of my lifts go wrong. So we're trying to implement some slow work and some paused work to make sure that I'm focusing on that area where I usually tend to be really weak or where things tend to go wrong. So being able to do a slow snatch at 75 basically tells me that 80 isn't my max. Basically tells me that my weakness is definitely from the floor, because 75 is a number that sometimes I do miss, not because I'm not strong enough, but just because of technical difficulties. So to hit that 75 was just really nice, really reassuring, made me feel really happy about the technical changes that we're making. Now this one was actually a PB, so whilst I wasn't aiming for PBs, I did manage to get one. I feel like this isn't one that like I'm like enormously ecstatic about, because for me it kind of just puts into question all of my numbers. So I did an 100 kilo no feet power clean and push press. So to push press 100 kilos when my best jerk is 108, one, mildly embarrassing. And two, I also power jerked 100 kilos. So now my push press is the same as my power jerk. That's also mildly embarrassing. But hey, I'm gonna take it as a win and be happy with it. It kind of just reassures me that what I've done isn't my peak strength and I'm definitely capable of doing more. I think it's important to look at your numbers and realize that yes, they're not where they are, but there's something that you can learn from them. So from that 100 kilo push press, I know that my legs are strong enough to do way more than a 108 kilo jerk. I know that my legs are strong enough to do way more than a 100 kilo power jerk. It's just ironing out the technical difficulties that exist that stop you from doing those things. So just remember that often it's not that you're not strong enough, it's that you've not developed the technique and the ability, like mental or physical, to put all the pieces together to be able to execute the best lift you possibly can and to get all of those amazing PBs. The next one is a 69 kg hang power snatch and full hang snatch. This I'm so happy with, because throughout this program I feel like I've been building a lot of strength in my like ability to go towards 70 kilos and above. Obviously I know 69 isn't 70 kilos, but we're pretty damn close. And these have never felt so good. I felt like I'd really understood how my body should be moving under a hang. I did make a full video if you guys want to go and watch it. It's up here. I've decided to just use both fingers because I can never remember. It's up here, I'll put the link here, and it's honestly changed the game for my snatches, and I've never felt so confident and so happy in my ability to do hang snatches, but also the transfer it has to my full snatch. Okay, you guys are gonna hate me because I know I said that there were no PBs and I've already mentioned one, and now is another one. But this is what happens when you make technical changes, okay? Don't come at me. So I managed to do a 76 kilo snatch double, which is 1 kilo above my previous best. I think I've done 75 for a double before. This 76 kilo snatch double was a huge mental breakthrough for me, because the first one really wasn't very convincing, and I've kind of fell into like my old ways of lifting and almost missed it forwards. But then I kind of rethought or like rechanneled my energy into all the things that I'd been working on this new training block, and it made a huge difference, and I felt like it really transferred over nicely. And the next snatch, like the second 76, was so much better. I felt so much more confident and felt so much lighter off the floor, and it kind of just reminded me that like the technical changes that you make won't always prevail, but it's when you start to trust yourself and trust what you're building that it makes such a big difference. So yeah, I was really happy with that. Another PB. I think that's the last one, okay? Please bear with me. Now this next one, I was like tempted not to put it in, because for me I wasn't like embarrassed, but I was kind of frustrated at the time. But I basically did 75, 95 as like a little total when I maxed out on Saturday. Now the reason I've decided to put it in is because even though it's not my best, and nowhere near my best, like 13 kilos off on my clean and jerk, it's 5 kilos off on my snatch. For me, when I walked in on that Saturday, I was convinced I wasn't going to be able to do anything. Like my body wasn't feeling good, I wasn't feeling good, and like mentally I just wasn't there. My body felt tired, my body felt battered, but I showed up, I tried my best, and I tried to stay calm and focused throughout the whole session, and hitting 75, 95 was amazing. I think that we have to remember that our bodies do go through a lot. Like weightlifting is really hard. To give yourself credit in sessions where you don't feel like you deserve it is so important. I am going to make a full video about how to react when you miss lifts, or how to react when your body's just not responding, because I feel like it's something that we all need to do more of. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel to watch that video. Now here's another one that I was like, I don't know why I'm putting this in here, but it makes so much sense to me, so bear with. So I'm going to put a 75 kilo snatch miss in the highlights, because I had done my whole session of snatches and I hadn't missed one single snatch. Now for everyone on this channel, you guys know that I always miss my snatches forward, because I'm very powerful at the hips. So if I don't switch on my arms, it's going forwards. There's just no question about that. But this 75 kilo, which I got completely taken aback because I missed it backwards, and that's not something that I usually do, and that's why I wanted to include it, because it was basically like everything had come together and I had done everything right, but I'd given it so much because I was worried I was going to miss it that it went backwards. I usually doubt myself straight away, and I usually just miss it forwards because I'm like a bit lazy, because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get it. But this time I was tired, I was convinced I wasn't going to do it, but I thought if you'll just give it everything you've got, then you stand a chance. And because I gave it everything and it was too much, it just flew out the back. So I was really happy with how that went. So I'm including a miss because some misses matter. Now this one is more of like a positional PB. I've been stretching meticulously. Like I have been doing my stretches every single night. I've been like warming up like so hard. I've been focusing so much on my positions, my movement, and it felt like with this lift, it all paid off and I was so happy. So it's 101 kilo clean, which is 7 kilos below my best, but I felt the most upright and the most comfortable I'd ever felt in the bottom of a clean, and it was just, oh, it just felt amazing. I was so happy that I'd managed to do that, and that everything that I'd been doing stretching wise had paid off, and that the positions are really starting to feel as though I belong in them, if that makes sense. So pleased. Now these next two are like a little bit impostery because they're not lifting related, but I'm so excited because it's just like strength in general, and I'm making a series, so make sure to subscribe to my channel because you don't want to miss it, but I'm making like a how to do a muscle up series, starting from literally not being able to do one to like hopefully being able to do one. So I'm building my strength in my dips and my pull-ups, and I've been managing to do body weight dips, and like not just 1 or 2, like I've been doing like 6 and 5, and I think it's amazing. I'm so pleased. I remember seeing people do them and like, that is the strangest thing ever, and now I'm able to do them. They give me the worst DOMs ever. It feels like my whole chest and like my whole upper body just feels so tight, and sometimes when I breathe it hurts. Like it feels like it can't pull to like get a full breath, but I'm so happy with the way it's moving. I also managed to do like some really good paused-ish pull-ups, which are really nice. I always have struggled to do pull-ups just because like I think it's just a really hard thing to achieve anyways, and when I did some pull-ups the other day, the strength just felt there. It just felt strong and it felt good, and I was really happy with how I was moving, and I felt like I was really engaging my lats. So yeah, those are like 2 little strength things that I was really happy about in September, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they develop in the next coming months. So those are my September highlights. I'm quite happy with how September went. I think technically wise, it couldn't have really gone much better. I trained really hard and tried to change new things and develop new things. I have changed my whole program, and that's coming in the next video, so make sure you subscribe to that channel. I'll be explaining why and why I'm not going to be focusing so much on lifting in the next month or 2. So October highlights will be slightly different, but I'm very excited. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up as well as subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to go back and do your own September highlights, because it's so important to look back and reflect on how well you've done this month and to give yourself a pat on the back, and also remind yourself of all the things that you've changed, all the things that you haven't changed, what's going well, what's not going well, to make sure that you're moving forward in the right direction or moving forward at all. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.